The knock didn't come from the door. It came from his heart. At least, that's what Daniel Cross felt at exactly 11:47 p.m. when a tiny voice trembled through the darkness and asked, "Can you fix our door?" Mommy's scared, and before you decide this is just another late-night story, stay with me, because the choice he made in the next few minutes changed 3 lives forever. If stories that touch your heart mean something to you, tap like, subscribe, and let's walk this journey together. Daniel Cross was used to midnight calls, but they usually came from boardrooms in different time zones, not from a barefoot little girl standing on his porch clutching a pink stuffed rabbit with one eye missing. He was the kind of man newspapers called untouchable, a self-made CEO who built a security tech empire after growing up in foster homes, a man whose calendar had no room for neighbors, let alone children knocking at his door. Yet there she was, no older than 6, hair tangled, cheeks wet, looking at him like he was the only safe thing left in the world. Behind her, across the narrow lawn, a small house stood with its front door cracked open, one hinge bent inward like a broken arm. The porch light flickered. Daniel didn't ask questions at first. He grabbed his coat, a toolbox he hadn't touched in years, and followed her back across the grass, his mind racing faster than any deal he'd ever negotiated. Inside the house, the air smelled of fear and cheap coffee gone cold. A woman stood near the kitchen, phone shaking in her hand, eyes darting to the door every few seconds. She looked up when Daniel entered, shock and embarrassment flushing her face at the same time. "I'm so sorry," she said quickly. "I told her not to bother anyone. My husband left last month, and someone tried to force the door earlier. I didn't know who else to." "It's okay," Daniel interrupted gently, surprising even himself. "I'm here now." Her name was Emily. She worked nights at a nursing home, barely slept, barely managed. The little girl, Lily, hovered near Daniel's leg as if anchoring herself to him. He knelt, examined the lock, the frame, the damage. It was clear someone had tried to break in. That knowledge sent a cold wave through him. He fixed doors for a living, metaphorically, systems, protections, walls against chaos, but this was different. This was real. This was fear you could touch. As he worked, Lily talked. Children always did. She told him how mommy cried when she thought Lily was asleep, how the house made noises at night, how daddy promised to come back but didn't. Daniel listened without interrupting, each word chipping away at the walls he'd built around himself. When he finished reinforcing the door and added a temporary security bar, he stood and said, "It'll hold. And tomorrow, I'll send someone to install a better lock." Emily's eyes filled with tears she tried desperately to hide. "I can't afford." "I didn't say you'd pay," Daniel replied softly. That should have been the end. Good deed done. Neighbor helped neighbor. But it wasn't. Because when Daniel returned to his empty house, the silence felt louder than ever. For the first time in years, success tasted hollow. The next morning, he watched from his window as Emily struggled to get Lily ready for school, juggling a bag, keys, and exhaustion. On impulse, Daniel stepped outside and offered to drive Lily. Emily hesitated, pride warring with need, then nodded. That car ride became the first of many small moments, school drop-offs, shared coffee on the porch, quick smiles that lingered too long. But life doesn't hand out healing without resistance. Rumors spread. Who was the rich CEO spending time with the struggling single mom next door? Emily felt judged, whispered about at work. Lily came home one day asking if Mr. Daniel was going to leave too, because good people always leave. That question hit Daniel harder than any betrayal he'd ever faced in business. His past caught up with him in unexpected ways. A former associate, angry over a failed deal, leaked his foster care history to the press, spinning a cruel narrative. Headlines questioned his stability, his judgment. Investors called emergency meetings. The board suggested he distance himself from distractions. For the first time in his life, Daniel had to choose between image and integrity.